Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Okay, let's start with the night that the New Orleans Saints had. They went into draft night knowing they had the 16th and 19th picks. Yesterday on the show, we had the report from Jeremy Fowler that the Saints were actively making calls about moving up or down. So we sat here and we explored what it would look like for the Saints to move up around number 10 if there were a player that were falling that they coveted. We suspected that maybe it was a scenario where it could have been an offensive lineman. In the end, it wasn't. It was the receiver they wanted. The Saints made the deal with the Washington Commanders to go up to number 11, and this is how it sounded when the commissioner made the pick.
The Washington Commanders have traded the 11th pick to the New Orleans Saints. With the 11th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State.
The Saints said all along they thought that Chris Olave was the best receiver in this draft. Once Drake London came off the board and Garrett Wilson came off the board, at that point the Saints felt like they had to make a move to go get their guy, and they did. They loved Chris Olave, and I love him as well. When I look at Chris Olave, I'll give you my feelings on Olave in a second. First of all, I'll play it here, Muse. Here was Dennis Allen on what they liked about Chris Olave. All right, never mind. We can't get the audio here. We'll play that for you coming up in a little bit. What I really liked about Chris Olave, every box he checks. Number one, he had production at a major level. He's the Ohio State career leader in touchdown receptions at 35, number 3 in receptions, number 5 in receiving yards, number 2 in career 100-yard games, and number 3 in single-season touchdown receptions. Chris Olave was a massively productive receiver in a major college football program. That's number one. Check that box. It's not like you're betting on the come because he's a great athlete, has a great physical skill set. The dude produced. That's number one. He is known as a great route runner. He gains separation because of his route running ability. You can go read any scouting report on him or just watch him play. It's Jarvis Landry, it's Josh Reed. If you want the comp of someone locally, it's one of those guys who knows how to run crisp routes, put their foot in the ground, and get separation that way. That's Chris Olave. The difference is he runs a 4.3 840. He's the burner. He's the blow the top off the defense guy, and I absolutely love it. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that you have Mike Thomas back, but Michael Thomas in his career averages 11 yards a reception. He is within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage is where Michael Thomas eats. You need the guy that can stretch a defense, the guy that was Devery Henderson, that was Brandon Cooks, that was Ted Ginn, the guy that you hoped Traquan Smith would be, which he just hasn't been. You got him now in Chris Olave. Pair him with Michael Thomas, and that is a dynamic 1-2 punch at receiver. You give Jameis the deep downfield, stretch the field threat. I absolutely love this pick. A lot of you are going to say, and I've seen it, well, you gave up too much. No, you didn't, okay? We sat here yesterday, and it's why we went through the exercise of looking at the comps of similar picks. And the one that made the most sense was the trade the Eagles and the Cowboys made a year ago, where the Eagles went up 2 spots from 12 to 10, and they gave up a 3 to do it. Well, the Saints went from 16 to 11. They went 5 spots, similar range, though, and they gave up a 3 and a 4. I'm good with it. To get the guy who you felt was the best in this draft at that position, which was your greatest position of need, I'm with it. Effectively, when you look at 4th-round picks, the Saints have had some hits in round 4, no doubt. C.J. Garner-Johnson was a 4. David Onyemata was a 4. Jari Evans, Jermon Bushrod were 4th-round picks. You know who else 4th-round pick? Antonio Pittman. Chip Vaughn. Stanley Arno, Al Woods, Nick Toon, Kyrie Fort, Rick Leonard, Ian Book. Those were also fourth-round picks. If you got what you feel is a sure thing, you go with it, and I'm totally good with it. So Chris Olave at number 16, I thought was a spectacular selection. And the Saints kept the 19th pick. The disaster scenario for me, and I think many of you would have been if they had traded 16 and 19 to move up to get whomever it might have been, maybe a quarterback. Some people had opined that. I don't think that was ever realistic. But they kept 19. So they're able to draft 2 players they feel are going to be starters. And the good fortune of the draft played out in the Saints' favor because at 19, the offensive lineman that they wanted was there, and they picked him.
With the 19th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Trevor Penning, tackle, Northern Iowa.
Okay, so Trevor Penning ultimately is the pick at 19. Jeff Schwartz over at Fox did a pre-draft interview with Trevor Penning, and I absolutely loved the interview because I loved listening to Trevor Penning and what he's about as an offensive lineman. Give a listen.
Yeah, so coming out of that week, I really wanted to show the scouts that I belong. Like, I knew I belonged. I just needed to go out there and prove it that I can do it against the SEC, the Big Ten, all those kind of guys. And, going in there, that was really my ultimate goal, is just to show these guys, like, hey, this guy can play against anybody. And not only play, but dominate.
So that was Trevor Penning talking about playing at the Senior Bowl. They wanted to go there and dominate. Now, he also talked to Jeff Schwartz about what he loves about playing offensive line. Listen to this mentality.
I think the number one thing that comes to being an aggressive player and just having that mauler mentality, one, I believe that's really how the game's meant to be played. I think you got to play off with a pissed-off attitude.
What's the best part about playing offensive line?
Being able to legally assault the person across from you.
I got a video.
It's a good feeling, right?
Being able to legally assault people. Being able to legally assault people across from you. Like, he is a big, mean, nasty, physical dog. I love that about him. If you go watch that full video, by the way, we are going to talk more about Trevor Penning, but if you go watch that full video, you'll see pictures of his recruitment. He was a beanpole. He worked so hard to put on weight to become that dude, and man, that was awesome to see. There was a celebration over at UNI at a bar near Northern Iowa where Trevor Penning had his draft watch party. So when they announced his selection to the Saints, place went nuts. I think at that point they knew that it was going to be Penning at 19. So the Saints got exactly what they needed. They got the 2 players who for months now we have talked about were the 2 players at the 2 greatest positions of need that would realistically be available to the Saints, and they got them both. They got Olave, and they got Penning. Dennis Allen on his first draft night, here was Dennis Allen talking about Chris Olave, the Saints' 11th overall pick.
Well, look, I thought there were some good receivers in this draft, but he's the one guy that I felt like, man, I know exactly what I'm getting in this player. Again, like I've said before, our kind of guy, tough, smart, and competitive, highly polished. I thought one of the better route runners, highly productive, really good, good hands. I just felt like the best well-rounded receiver in the draft.
The Saints thought Chris Olave was the best, most well-rounded receiver in the draft. He was there. They got aggressive. They went and got him. I love it. And as far as Trevor Penning, here was Dennis Allen on the big offensive lineman that they took.
But he was a guy, again, man, this guy's big. This guy's tough. This guy's nasty. Plays our type of football. So look, I'm never surprised at anything that happens in the draft. Obviously, we were ecstatic that he was sitting there when we got ready to pick at 19.
They weren't sure he would be. I wasn't sure he would be. I think a lot of the opinions we had were Saints would probably need to take Penning at 16 and hope the receiver was there at 19. But they got aggressive, got their receiver, and the offensive lineman was still there. So the Saints take Chris Olave, 11 overall, Trevor Penning, 19 overall. They do have a second-round pick tonight. Again, no 3 or 4. but they've got a second-round pick, number 49 overall, and then they'll pick on Saturday in rounds 5 and 6. But don't rule out the possibility of another trade. We've seen the Saints do this, get aggressive in the middle rounds and late rounds, even using future picks to go up and get players that they like, and they may well do that again. Running back is certainly a need. Safety is certainly a need. Defensive tackle is a need. There's plenty of spaces that the Saints could improve their football team here over the next 2 days. They've got 3 picks to do it, and potentially if they make deals, they could move up and or add more. So I love what they did here in round 1, adding Olave and Penning, 2 starting players on the offensive side, day 1 starters that immediately make you better. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.